Welcome to Gray Overload, and this week we have some more news to talk about for the Tony Tech Topics episode. And let's start off with Intel. We didn't have any Intel news last week, so let's start there. And this is the fun side of things, where Tom Peterson was on with PC World's the full nerd. That's what I wanted to say. So this is kind of interesting. Video Cars had a summary of it if you care about that, but Intel has the whole XE3 with the XE2 Plus and Prime naming schemes and all this other stuff. So the, Tom Peterson that said that this was named long ago, and it's similar. XE3 is similar to XE2, and so he talked about some of the changes there, but they're trying to be more transparent, and they probably should have called it XE2 Prime and XE2 Plus Plus. So that was interesting. He also talked about the gaming chiplets, and he said that the discrete GPU is bulky, which it is, using more power and stuff like that, right? You have the PCI bus to power, and then separate GPU. And kind of the way the AMD's been going with putting more graphics power on the chips, that's where this Intel and Nvidia partnership is going. Then he was asked about Celestial and B7070, and yeah, he just kind of said, as you know, I don't talk about unreleased products, and I try not to hint either. So that's what you're getting from the Intel side of things. I will say this, though. Moore's Law is Dead kind of came out a while ago, and he did say it's basically a skeleton crew there that's going forward, and I'm kind of saying, my first thought was, when Intel's come out with their GPUs, I hope they compete and they compete well. But I think we give this a few years, and I think we'll see where Intel will go right back to where it always has been, where it's not really in the forefront of GPUs. It's looking like that. We'll see as this goes through. And as like I said, I like to see them compete, but I need to see them compete and not just, you know, dabble in it enough to pull attention away every so often. It's disappointing to me to see companies that have potential, and of course Intel's going through a little bit of a rough time here, right? uh, I guess we're gonna call it. I guess I'm gonna call it a little bit of a rough time when it's really a new CEO trying to get them back on their feet and stuff like this. So it's yeah, and them trying to get their traction, make some money. And this is one of those things where you're just like, okay, let's see Intel, where are you going? And I guess we're going to have to be in a wait and see moment. I could see things shaking out, by 2030, 2032, where Intel's kind of going, we've tried this Nvidia thing a little bit here, and we actually want to bring some products back and be kind of our own have everything back working again, just all underneath our roof. I could see that too. I could also see them go and say, we'd like to actually AMD have an option between an AMD and an Nvidia chip. Let's say that goes that way. There's a lot of different options here that could go. I think it's very less likely that it would go to like an Intel AMD option, considering where AMD has came from at this time. But, let's say Nvidia gets some ARM chips working, or finally gets an x86 license, builds their own chip. Then it's, Intel's like, well, man, we should actually develop our own instead of just, uh, sitting here by. So, there could be still some stuff there, because there's going to be hopefully at least a little level of some integration there that they continue to have on their chips of just integrated graphics by themselves, not including Nvidia. I'm guessing on all their chips. So maybe they still have that, their own GPU on there. And if they keep developing drivers so that you can still play games on it, might be something that they can bring back and actually use later on. Now, next one here is, I was reading on WCCF Tech, and I was like, man, Raptor Lake chips are still around. And the Intel is increasing the prices. Yep, increasing, because the lack of AI PC of underperformance. So, yeah, you're getting a price hike in Q4 here for the Raptor Lake chips, and because they're more cost-effective options for Lunar Lake for PC makers and consumers, according to this article here. And not shocked. I, you know, the, the forcefulness of Microsoft to upgrade your computer, people do not ask me why I need to, I'm told that Windows 10 is there. Why do I really need to upgrade? The first words out of my mouth are not because of AI, right? It's because of Windows 11. And then when they say, okay, I guess I'll have to update my computer, they say, which one? They never say, do I need to have AI? They don't ask that. I have not been asked that in the multitude of people I've helped out with buying computers. That has never came up. So not shocked about this at all. So we'll see how this goes going, forward here. There's been reports. I think Moore's Law is dead has mentioned this, and I think even I can't remember where else I read it. Now they've even said that the AI words on products has not generated or even made the sales go up at all. It's just people just are not responding to that. Uh, you know, I think somebody said that back when they were changing these names, especially the AMD products, that it wasn't going to matter. I'm I'm pretty sure I was saying stuff like that, but they still went forward with it, and then here we are later that yeah, goes to show that uh, it is it didn't sell like they thought. But a little bit one more Intel story is Intel CEO is they're meeting with some Saudi officials for a potential chip partnership. Now this is, the Saudi Minister of Communications Information Technology was meeting with the CEO of Intel to discuss areas of partnership developing semiconductors for advanced computing technologies along enhancing collaboration and building artificial intelligence infrastructures and future technologies, according to Arab News. So that is interesting there because, you know, Intel does need an infusion of cash, and if they go that route, they might get another infusion of cash there, which may help them out as they move forward in trying to build their company back up from what it's all gone through and overspending and everything else that it's done over the years here. So let's switch gears a little bit and let's talk about AMD. We'll jump into AMD, and this is exciting news for anybody that likes the G series chips from AMD, right? We have the normal chips that do have a couple graphics cores on them, but if you want something with a little bit more oomph, the 9000G, or whatever they're going to call them, seems to be in the new Aegis, Aegis, whatever you want to call it, 1.2.7.0. Now this is pretty interesting here. I was, because something that I run in my Plex server a lot, that does a great job with all the transcoding and everything there. But it looks to be that's the performance there might be close to where you get like a 8-core, 16-thread, maybe even a little bit more performance than that. Maybe the 12-core in there, and then what is it? The 16-core GPU might be an option. I'm all for it. I I will see. I'm willing to go that route, right? So, 8-core, let's say 12 cores, 24 threads, maybe 16 RDNA 3.5 in there. I I would be more than willing to build and upgrade another computer for my Plex server to try this out. I think it'd be a cool little build, upgrade it a little bit. But the other part of it too is that maybe those other parts would go to another computer build that maybe I give to somebody else, because I do like to take the old parts, and every single one of those ITX builds I've done, those old parts then get built into another computer, and that computer gets given to somebody. Happens to be that's how I normally do it. Every once in a while I do sell one, but normally the time it's given to family, friends, people that need a computer in some way. And so I try to give that, but I'd be willing to build a new one if AMD comes out with like a 9700, 9070G, 12 cores, 24 threads. Would be a a great, great outlook of maybe what to see for the next generation APUs. Maybe that 9700 would be 12 cores, 24 threads then. That would be interesting. The 9600G be that 8 core. That would be something else. So on the AMD side of things, still there was a ROCm 9.7 is in preview, and they had some improvements there to the ROC build system, improvability. There they have architecture specific Python packages, the open release model, and transparency. Phoronix had this. They do a great job. Um, so far, this is not going to be production use, and currently only supports the MI 300 and 350 and Ryzen AI 300 Max. The RX graphics cards are not currently supported, but we'll see how this does as AMD kind of continues to get this out to go through. But it seems like a pretty big jump because they're skipping version 7.1 to 7.8. So it's a new preview branch, and hopefully, we get more performance right out of this going forward, because the what AMD is able to deliver here is going to be something that competes well with CUDA in the end. I think we're all in for a great treat, because that's where it kind of needs to get to, and where AMD needs to get to if they want to compete with Nvidia in AI, because CUDA is everywhere, right? It's very entrenched, and as ROCm has been increasing, getting better, these things that they are able to do will hopefully get them over the hump to be able to be ready for when that I think the MI 400 series gets out. I think that'll be a great thing for them as a whole. Now, especially with people already using it, and as long as it's all there. Now, there's a rumor on video cards. I saw this. We've heard about this before, right? The dual V cache for the like the 9950. This would be, I think it's a great option if you have extra Vcache stuff that AMD has. I like to see this. I mean, it's one chip where I'd gravitate to, because I do a lot of coding, I do video editing, and then I do like to play games. So for a main system, I'd like to have something like this that could benefit with that Vcache, and then have that performance across two Vcache cores. Now, does that mean that it would be great for everybody? No, I think gaming would still be the one CCD for now, would be something what I think most people gravitate towards, especially if the next gen goes to 12 cores, as games I think would then start going to 12 cores for a lot of their performance stuff, or trying to thread to that. You'd see some benefit there, but this would be a logical choice for I think quite a few people to be like, you know what, I want the benefits of both, and I like to see this processor. Now, we'll see if it comes out. I think it really hits to where Nova Lake kind of is released and how it performs. Maybe if there's an Arrow Lake refresh there as well. But overall, you're this far into the cycle. Maybe depending upon how close Zen 6 is, maybe you wait till that to really release it there. So what else? Did I have anything else there on AMD here? I'm just taking a quick look. I think you hit that double CCD there. There's a lot of other news I had here, but no, I actually am on Nvidia. Okay, hopefully it's not too much news. But Nvidia unofficially has Reflex 2 tech demo that works on all RTX GPUs, and that includes the 2000 series or 20 series, right? That's how they yeah, 20 series. I don't know why I said 2000. Weird. Um, yeah, I don't expect it to go to any other series, but the tech demo is supposed to work on all of them. So that's great. I'm not shocked that a tech demo would do this. Now, because you might have said, you know what, I want to see how well it works on each of these or each of these graphics cards. But is that in the end game where you're going to release it for everything? That's a whole nother story. I would like to see a lot of this stuff and a lot of these technologies on there released on every single one, but we are not getting there and we're not getting that. So I just wanted to mention the coolness of it working on everything. And Nvidia decided not to have the tech demo work on, or work, Nvidia deciding not to release it on everything is an Nvidia thing. That doesn't mean the tech demo can't technically work on everything, right? So that's one thing I'll take there. So let's go into Qualcomm here, which I think is another good release of graphics drivers, I have to say. We got Red Dead Redemption 2, World War Z, Final Fantasy 15, Dota 2, Dirt 5. They improved stability and visual quality, game performance, AutoCAD improvements there, Adobe Raw Camera. Heck, maybe they might have something to deliver here next time they want to talk to Microsoft to release something. I know, it's sad to see, but we have to talk about it. Qualcomm may get there one day. It would have been interesting to see. I mean, I'm guessing Qualcomm didn't want to go down that route, but have a Qualcomm Nvidia chip. That would have been interesting to see if they could have pulled something like that off. So let's talk about Samsung here real quick. Samsung, Elon Musk was talking, and Elon Musk says that Tesla uh, is going with Samsung for the AI chips because it is the most advanced fab. So take that for what you will there, because it's yeah, you know, take it for what you will. I do not dive deep enough into this stuff and develop chips to know which one would be better and more advanced, but this is what Elon's saying for the next gen AI chips. There, you know, is it not? Who knows? This was an interesting one. We have UEFI, which is, you know, I like to go to core boot and a lot of stuff, but Chinese is launching their own independent firmware called UBIOS to replace UEFI. I'm reading through it, right? Intel, Microsoft kind of did the UEFI stuff. They're Microsoft centric. They want to be more independent off of the West, so they're doing this UBIOS. I think it's going to come a time where we're going to have to start cleaning up a lot of this old architecture stuff, or I should say architecture, old software stuff in there, because it is kind of messy. But, you know, is this the right way to do it? I think, some people should get on some core boot stuff, and we should start enabling that a lot more as well. But this is something that I found, and it's one of the things that I like to see, where even though it's somebody else developing it there, maybe it can shock the industry into being like, we need to change some things and we need to improve it. So let's talk a little bit about Microsoft here quick. We got Microsoft breaking USB mouse keyboard users with the latest update on it. KB, hopefully Microsoft is able to fix this quickly. I think yeah, I don't know if they have it. USB devices such as keyboard and mouse do not function in the Windows recovery environment. Microsoft just keeps breaking stuff. They talked about using your voice for things, but yeah. um, that, Come on, Microsoft. Let's keep this kind of working here. There is some updates to 25H2 and 24H2 for emergency recovery update as well. This is this Safe OS dynamic out of bounds update. are out of bounds. Well, yeah, Microsoft has been out of bounds, but this is to fix that USB update. I guess I did see the fix here. Um, I had that tab open too, but yeah, I don't want to talk about gaming yet. So that's all I had there as well. So now we're on to the gaming side of things, and yeah. So EA, right? They're going through that buyout here and everything else. And on the gaming side of things, Neowind had this, and I was going through, but the final update for Sims Mobile. So if you're playing Sims Mobile, you're going to have the final update on October 21st. After that, you will know, or the game listed on there, the final update has happened or will happen here, but it'll be delisted from the stores, and a lot of the servers here for stuff will be shut down in January 20th, 2026. So they have the roadmap here all the way down to the January 20th. They have from October 20th all the way down there. This is, yeah. I This is where I've never played it, so I don't know how exactly if it's all 100% online or not. But if you enjoy this game, you bought it. I don't know even how much it cost, but if you're spending money on it and they just shut it down, this is one of those things I really don't like because, okay, now all those people that actually enjoy and play the game and spend money on it, if they spent money on it, are just left out there, and a game that they played, they enjoyed, is now gone. I don't exactly like companies just getting rid of stuff. This is why these Save Old Games initiatives is a good one, and hopefully we can get more there. So the moving on to Bethesda, Fallout 4, there will be an anniversary edition with all the DLCs, all the Creator Club content, and it will be on the Switch 2, according to WCCF Tech here. That was the quote that they had. So, if you are a Fallout 4 fan, this is one thing that you will be able to buy. And it's at least an update you've had for Fallout 4 because, where's Fallout 5? At least you're going to get a new thing for Fallout here. It just happens to be not a new game, just a anniversary edition. So we'll see. Maybe we'll get there. That's underneath Microsoft now, so who knows what they're doing with that. Microsoft is interesting gaming. I'm recording these two videos on the same day, but I will have another video out for the Xbox stuff that's been happening, and it's just Xbox games need some help. Xbox is being a disaster overall, and we'll see if they can get there. But Microsoft says it's training a gaming copilot AI by watching you play games. So if you want, there's a WCCF article on this. I am not shocked by this. Now, I think that you have to have certain hardware for this, I think. But again, you should kind of turn it off. I think unless you want to submit this back to them. Training AI with their gameplay. I personally think it should be opt-in, not opt-out, but that's a whole another thing. But the gaming Copilot AI is automatically installed with your Windows 11 PC, and yeah, we'll see how that all goes. Maybe I'll make a video on how to turn that off if Chris Titus Text hasn't already done that. He's always one that you can go there, but you here's how you do it. You navigate to the game bar, go into settings, and then privacy settings, and then the option for gaming Copilot to pull model training on text is there. So this is yeah, it's Microsoft. And then we're going to end on this, right? We just had a big month in games here in September. with Borderlands 4 and the US, Borderlands 4 is the top selling game. It's on the charts, so impressive there what they've been able to do overall at Borderlands. There's actually, you had in the top 20, you had 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 games. Looks pretty good overall of what they were able to do and able to compete with there. We'll see if this comes up. I got to pay attention to this. Maybe we'll see what's the best-selling games or in October to see where it continued. But with Battlefield coming out here in October, I'm sure that probably takes the top spot overall. But I know my friends really enjoying Borderlands 4, so that's that's good to hear, and that's all I really have for this week. But I want to thank you guys all for listening to and supporting Gray Overload and this episode of 20 Tech Topics. Get the news here kind of condensed. Let me know what news I missed and what you're kind of interested in as well in the comments below, and I'll try to cover that in an upcoming episode. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon, watch another one of my videos, as that really does help out the channel. Until next time, God bless.